Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to dive into a real game changer from the Business Central 2026 Release Wave 1, and that is the Standard Item ABC Analysis Report. Listen, if you've ever felt like your supply chain resources are just stretched way too thin, this tool might be exactly what you need to finally figure out which inventory items actually drive your bottom line. It's a fantastic feature, so let's jump right in and see how it works. Okay, here's our game plan for today. We'll start with number 1, meet the ABC Analysis Report. Then 2, who uses this report? 3, the A, B, C categories. 4, configuring your report settings. And finally, 5, exporting and analyzing data.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, meet the ABC Analysis Report, prioritizing what matters most. So, what exactly is this thing? Well, simply put, the Item ABC Analysis is a standard, built-in report in Business Central that automatically ranks your inventory items into A, B, and C categories. And the absolute key takeaway here is the metric it uses. It bases this ranking strictly on their sales amounts in your local currency, or LCY. The whole purpose of this report is to help you figure out which items you literally must keep in stock at all times versus the items where you can totally afford occasional stockouts. Basically, it lets you divert your incredibly valuable supply chain resources, your time, your capital, your warehouse space, directly toward the items that actually keep the lights on.
Moving right along to Section 2, who uses this report? Tailoring value by role.
It's actually pretty wild how this one standard report acts like a Swiss Army knife for totally different roles in a business. Take inventory managers, for example. They use it to instantly spot their highest revenue-contributing items so they can prioritize availability. But they also use it to spot items with zero sales, which essentially flags the dead weight for a phase-out or maybe a promotional push. Then you've got purchasing agents. They take that exact same data to focus their supplier negotiations right on those high-value Category A items and to smartly adjust reorder quantities and safety stock. And finally, controllers look at this from the financial side. They analyze the distribution of inventory value, they make sure the inventory investment actually aligns with real sales performance, and they use the hard data to back up tough decisions about inventory write-downs.
Next up, Section 3, the ABC categories, understanding the breakdown.
Okay, let's actually unpack what A, B, and C mean under the hood. Category A items represent small volume but high value. These are your heavy hitters. They drive the most revenue, so as a golden rule, they should always be in stock. Category B items sit right in the middle. You've got medium volume and medium value. They just require steady monitoring. And then we have Category C. These are your high volume, really small value items. Because their financial impact is so low, this is the bucket where you might safely accept occasional stockouts without taking a hit to your bottom line.
To put this into perspective, think of a classic 50-30-20 split. The system takes a look at your total sales value. Then, the items that contribute to the top 50% of that total value get flagged as Category A. The items making up the next 30% are B, and that final 20% are C. The beauty of this is that you get to set these percentage thresholds, and the system literally just executes the math for you.
Which brings us to the core of today's Explainer, Section 4, configuring your report settings, step-by-step tutorial.
All right, time to roll up our sleeves. When you open the ABC Analysis Request page in Business Central, you're greeted with a few specific fields. We're going to break this down into a structured 4-step roadmap. Step 1 is defining your ratios for categories A, B, and C. Step 2 is choosing which of those categories you actually want to show in your output. Step 3 involves deciding what to do with zero sales items, and Step 4 is applying any specific data filters on the Item Fast tab. Let's build this out step by careful step.
Starting with Step 1, the ratio setup. Now, the default category thresholds actually pull from your ABC Analysis setup page, but you can totally override them right here on the request page every single time you run the report. But listen, this is absolutely crucial. The golden rule here is that your 3 percentage values must total exactly 100%. If you try to punch in 50-40-20, no way, the system's going to reject it. It has to perfectly account for 100% of your sales volume. So our 50-30-20 example from earlier works perfectly. Just set your ratio, double-check that it hits 100, and you're good to go.
Now for Steps 2 and 3, which are really about customizing what you actually see. The Show Category option is wonderfully simple. You just toggle which categories to include in the output. So maybe today you only want to analyze your top-tier Category A items. Just select that, boom, you're done. Meanwhile, checking the Print Lines with Zero box includes items with zero sales amounts in your local currency.
Normally those lines get excluded. But remember our inventory managers from earlier? Checking this box is the exact trick they use to identify those items sitting on warehouse shelves just gathering dust. It genuinely turns the report into a powerful tool for clearing out dead stock.
And finally, step 4 brings us down to the Item Fast tab at the bottom of the request page. This is where you apply specific filters to control exactly what data gets included before the report even runs. Maybe you only want to run an ABC analysis on one specific product category, or items from a certain vendor, or maybe just a particular warehouse location. You just pop those filters right into the Item Fast tab. Once you've got your 100% ratio set, your display toggles chosen, and your Fast tab filters locked in, you are completely ready to hit run.
All right, our final section, number 5, exporting and analyzing data, putting the insights to work. So you execute the report and Business Central generates this fantastic Excel layout. What's really cool is that this single file actually contains 3 distinct worksheets designed for totally different purposes. The first one is print. This is a highly formatted, printable version giving you item details and their assigned classifications. Next is structure, which gives you a great high-level summary of the cumulative values for each class. But the real magic? That happens in the third worksheet, analysis. This sheet comes preloaded with Excel slicers for your ABC classes and inventory posting groups. That means you can instantly slice and dice the data, interactively clicking through your A, B, and C items to perform deep dive analytics right there on your desktop.
But hey, the data doesn't just have to live in Excel. For those of you utilizing Microsoft's broader ecosystem, configuring your ABC thresholds correctly in Business Central unlocks something even bigger. Those exact same thresholds you just set up are shared directly with the ABC Analysis Power BI report. This is huge because it ensures that whether you're looking at an Excel spreadsheet or a beautiful dynamic dashboard in Power BI, your classifications are perfectly consistent across the board. Once you've got your setup dialed in, you can open Power BI and just trust the data completely.
Well, we've covered the whole shebang today, the what, the who, the how, and the why of the ABC Analysis Report. But as we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final critical question to chew on. Are your valuable supply chain resources currently tied up in Category C? Seriously, think about it. Without running this report, you could easily be overinvesting in high-volume, low-value items, all while your true revenue drivers are facing stockouts. It's incredibly insightful to go configure this report today and find out exactly where your inventory investment really lies. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and hey, happy analyzing.